So the battery's back in the van, everything is hooked up thankfully correctly, and I am in it today to get the heater started, because one thing about the Webasto heater, you do have to run it even if you're not in the van running that heater, just to make sure that things still run as they need to run. And I'm thinking that I'm very fortunate in that when I was dreaming of this van and begging my husband for this van, that he really thought we just wouldn't use it. Like, when are you going to use it? We work full time. What are you doing? I've been so fortunate to have been able to get out and using it every other month or so, except in the winter. And that's really been a downer. That probably contributed to why I went ahead and redid the van layout and decided to do this, because I really wasn't doing anything else and I had to kind of keep my mental in a good spot. So you can hear my heater on, right? Like, that's what it sounds like when it's kicking out the heat. It's a nice white noise at night when you're sleeping and so forth, usually. I have gone ahead and I have a few other things that I will stick in the van. It's done. I have taken my TV. I've hooked these strap and these stud in the wall, the same strap that I did my fireplace and my little table legs here with. I have my TV protected with my pillow, and yes, I could absolutely take some space on these walls and put my TV up here, but I really like the idea that I can move my TV around if I need to. If I'm in bed with my head where I expect my head to be, then the TV would be over here, right? But then if I'm sitting on my couch, that's not where I want to be looking at my TV. I can't do that. So what I have done is I've put kind of anti-skid things on the bottom of this TV base. This will stay here, and I will just slide my TV onto this base and not screw it in. It just kind of sits right here, comes to, I don't know, about there. And then in that case, my head would be over here when I sleep, which is, no, not while I sleep. While I watch the TV, I dislike my head at this side. For whatever reason, I don't sleep well that way. So that's my plan with the TV, and that's my plan while traveling with the TV. I do have to figure out a new plan with my smoke detector. I really don't like where I have it, simply because if it's in my main area and there's a thick curtain hanging right back there. So if I put it right here, basically on the side of that curtain, I don't necessarily know if a problem happens with my battery and my electrical components back there. Will the smoke get through that curtain? Is that safe enough? So I think I'm going to put it on the other side of that curtain, maybe on top of my electrical box, just to be on the safe side. And I'll use this to do that. I just picked up for $2.49 at the thrift store this small little cutting board. I really would like to see if I can somehow attach it to the wall somehow or somewhere, to have it be just a really small little table that I can put on some extension legs and pop up when I need it on this side. Somehow do something like that. Another thing that I purchased from Amazon is this large thing. It's meant to go around your camp stove. Don't have like your typical camping stove that already comes with like the lid that pops up and the arms to block any breeze. And I realized last summer when there was a breeze, I could not keep my flame, well, I could keep it lit, but the flame just went everywhere and it really wasn't cooking my food. So I bought this. I also needed something to go behind my sink. When I'm doing dishes, I need something to go behind here so that my dirty water and like the spaghetti sauce or whatever it is doesn't fly up and hit my curtain. I totally thought it was much bigger when I got it and realized it was only like a foot tall. That was a little disappointing. I should have read. My fault. I really just snuck in here today because I have plans to go somewhere, to an RV show. I really wanted to take the van, but I think my thoughts are changing on that. I don't think I will take the van and make it an overnight trip. I'm struggling with a little bit of just being a little bit bummed out with wanting to camp so bad that's why I was going to do that. I was going to drive 2.5 hours north, go to this RV show, park at a Cracker Barrel or at a rest stop, which there are many of, but I worry greatly about taking the van out unnecessarily, really due to the fact that it's not a van that I bought for $100,000. There's 100,000 more of them just like them, and that it's easy to insure. This is not the van that I have. You know, I did it myself, blood, sweat, and tears mostly. If something should happen to this van, can never get the same thing that I've had and made and that I love dearly. Even my new layout, love it. If it's just to go 2 hours north and stay in a truck stop and something should happen to it, I'll really kick myself like, why? That was just not a necessary trip. So I've decided to put my smoke alarm right here, if you can see that. It's on top of my electrical box. There's my Blue Eddy. I'm going to shove this little door in when I travel because right now it's got batteries in it. Those batteries can go bad when I'm not even in here for a month or so. I don't want it to be beeping or just using that battery unnecessarily. You can see that I've really doubled up this curtain. That is where I intend for that to be. It's just hooked on there with Velcro. So I'm not sure about the color. This isn't seen. This is really just to keep things from, like the mattress from pushing back. It's just a board I got from the thrift store. I was going to use it as a table, and I guess still can if I needed to, but it's pretty much the perfect length to act as like a buffer there. Things would go straight into the garage, and the mattress itself could even slide into the garage if I pushed it. Anyway, back to the cutting board. It doesn't lay flush, right? It doesn't do that. It lays a little off because the brackets, and then it would come up like that. And I really don't want to impede a person who's trying to climb up on the bed. I don't want it to like be sticking out another, I don't know, 1.5 or 2 inches there. I don't know if that would matter, but this was a huge functionality perk in my van, and I don't want to disrupt that. I feel like if I'm sitting here, if it's down, my big pillow that's here may break that up so you don't see that, and it's not as much of an eyesore. And I may paint this the same green and maybe distress it a little bit so it goes a little better, clearly, because this is just, I love the small piece of wood it is, but I think I need to pretty that up a little bit just to make it match a bit. Probably this too, since if I'm painting, I might as well paint it all. I love projects. So for the same reason that I say I don't like to take the van out unnecessarily on just errands or things like that, I do, because I need to keep the fluids running in the engine and such so that it doesn't have trouble with idle fluids, whatever they may be. I do take it out, and I worry every time for that same reason. But as far as just the overall concern that something should happen to it and it's not a van that I can replace easily or at all, it's that same type of thought holds true when people come up that I know, like friends, family, come up and say, hey, can we take your van out for the weekend? And they want to use it. Unfortunately, my answer is no. And I'm a little ashamed, maybe a strong word, but I know I was so excited when I was building it out, and everyone was excited for me, and they're still excited for me, so much so that they want to see what it's like as well. And I absolutely get it. Unfortunately, that is how it is, simply because I can't replace it. I can't get the same van, and that terrifies me. So it's also not a van that I would ever rent out for the same reason. I think some people get the more expensive vans, and instead of them sitting, they put them on the website to rent them out, and they are not cheap either. So it's again, it's not something I would do, not only for insurance purposes, but just because someone else in my van isn't going to treat it the same way as I treat my van. So I don't know if that's weird or not. Let me know your thoughts if you rent your van out or how you do that and get over that feeling. But it's just not something I have conquered yet. I am literally just here to run the heater a little bit and just to get out of the house. I have my new fireplace going that I really love. Again, it's not set on heat. It is just for the ambiance, and I'm watching my battery to see how much energy it takes. I'm going to read a little bit, and then I'm going to get myself ready to go to the RV show to meet a few gals from the Sisters on the Fly whom I haven't met this time in the New York region. So I'm excited about that. Not bad at all. All right, so just to follow up, I did go ahead and paint my little piece of wood here as well as the long piece of wood behind it. It's fairly perfect. It would be great if I were sitting here in the morning. I'm perhaps watching my TV, which isn't there right now, but I'm sitting here, my phone can be here, my cup of coffee can be here, or I can turn this way and I can, if let's say I put the TV on my toilet cabinet, I can sit here this direction or maybe work on my computer or what have you. And well, heck, I didn't know it'd be an armrest, but it's kind of the same thing. It works well for whichever direction I'm facing. I love just the weirdo piece of wood I found and how well it worked out.